4 years ago, a partnership was announced to bring Nintendo lands to Universal Parks. Construction started on the first of these lands in June of 2017 at Universal Studios Japan. With Super Nintendo Worlds also slated for Universal Parks in Orlando, Hollywood, and now Singapore, two big questions still remain. When will these highly anticipated theme park lands be opening around the world? And how will the lands be different from each other? While very little has been officially announced, we do know that each of the Super Nintendo World lands will feature a signature attraction, Mario Kart. Universal has touted the Mario Kart ride as the most immersive and cutting-edge technological attraction that you could possibly imagine. All iterations of the lands will contain immersive environments that allow you to feel like you've entered a video game. However, additional rides and experiences may vary from land to land, depending on different factors. The first to start construction, Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Japan, is expected to open sometime in 2020. It has been rumored since construction began back in 2017 that the new land should be ready in time for the 2020 Summer Olympics, which will be hosted in Tokyo, just a few hours train ride away from the Osaka-based theme park. The rumored Summer Olympics target date was somewhat confirmed when a leaked document surfaced recently. The document was supposedly handed out during a Comcast town hall meeting back in December, and it verifies this opening timeframe. Based on what we can see from construction, concept art, and some leaked details, it appears that Super Nintendo World in Japan will open with 2 rides, a restaurant, meet and greets, and interactive play areas. One of the rides is of course the massive Mario Kart experience, but there will also be a Yoshi family ride as well. The Yoshi ride will take place both inside and outside above a section of the Mushroom Kingdom, and will allow guests to ride on the back of a Yoshi. It appears that a third plot of land is being reserved for future expansion of the area, but no word yet for what. Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Hollywood is the only other version of the land that appears to be under construction at this time. After a lengthy process of demolishing sound stages and clearing land on the lower lot behind the Jurassic ride, vertical construction for Super Nintendo World has only just begun. If the build time was similar to that in Japan, the opening of the land wouldn't be expected until 2022. Although, insiders say that with the research and development behind them, it's possible that Hollywood's Super Nintendo World could be open as soon as 2021. The land in Universal Studios Hollywood will be different than the one in Japan. While it will contain the Mario Kart ride, it is rumored that the Yoshi ride is being left out of the plans. With limited space and a skinnier plot of land, some changes to the layout are expected. Also, it has been said that the recently announced Secret Life of Pets Dark ride, opening in 2020, will actually utilize a similar ride system as the Yoshi ride. Instead of Yoshi, it has been heavily rumored that Hollywood will be getting a ride based on the Donkey Kong franchise that will take riders on a thrilling minecart adventure. Just announced this year, Super Nintendo World, as well as Minion Park, will be heading to Universal Studios Singapore. The 2 new lands were announced as part of a larger expansion project for the resort. The entire expansion is expected to be complete by 2025 at the latest. It's still too early to know what elements and rides will be included in Singapore's Super Nintendo World. However, both their Nintendo and Minion Park concept art matches Japan's concept art, so that may be an indication that their lands will be the same as well. All the way back in November of 2017, permits and plans were submitted to build Orlando's Super Nintendo World in the Kids Zone area of Universal Studios Florida. Several existing attractions were set to close after the holiday season to make way for the new land. Even work walls went up around some of the area. However, it was around this time that Universal was granted permission to build a new theme park on their newly acquired parcel of land south of the current resort. And so the plans were scrapped. If the original Kids Zone plans had gone through, Super Nintendo World would have likely opened in Orlando around 2021. With focus shifting to building a whole new theme park on their new land, a decision was made to save Nintendo for the new park. A popular property like Nintendo with a major e-ticket like Mario Kart would be perfect to anchor a new theme park. With land clearing now wrapped up a couple years later, we're nearly ready to start to see actual construction begin for this new park, rumored to be named Fantastic Worlds. Unfortunately, with an entire theme park to build, with all of the infrastructure, back of house, parking lots, and road expansions needed to support it, this variation of Super Nintendo World will definitely take the longest to construct. Estimates put the new park's opening date around 2023. Even when it was slated to be built in the Kid Zone area of Universal Studios Florida, Orlando's version of Super Nintendo World was to contain all 3 rides: Mario Kart, Yoshi, and Donkey Kong. It's likely that these 3 rides will still be built in the Orlando version of the land. However, now that the land will be placed in a new theme park that's being built from scratch, it's also possible that additional Nintendo attractions may be added as well. Fan favorites like Luigi's Mansion and Kirby's Dream World have been suggested, but there hasn't been any rumors for more rides beyond the initial 3. What rumors have emerged, though, are plans to build additional lands based on other Nintendo properties at the existing Universal Orlando theme parks. You may have heard discussion for a land based on The Legend of Zelda to replace Lost Continent at Islands of Adventure, or a Pokemon land to take over Kid Zone at Universal Studios Florida. As far as I've heard, these ideas may still be on the table for later down the road. They've just been placed on the back burner until Universal sees what type of reaction the initial Super Nintendo World lands receive. While we may end up waiting the longest in Orlando, we'll certainly end up with the most Nintendo attractions overall. And remember, until officially announced by Universal or Nintendo, these dates should be considered rumors, and you should never book a vacation based on early information. You never know what could change in the coming years.
Here we go!
What do you think of these estimates? And what Nintendo properties would you like to see get a ride? Stay tuned to the channel for more Super Nintendo World news and updates coming soon. Thanks for watching. See you next time.